Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues. This video is going out as a video response to my brother, TJ Pyramid Joe, on YouTube. I just got done watching your video response to my previous rage-filled vlog and about the medical, I guess you could say, malpractice, malady that my sister and I went through, her being just refused outright care in the hospital, and it's just, after watching your video, you can tell I've calmed down a little bit, but internally the strife is still there, the anger, the animosity, and just the frustration over the situation, because listening to what you were recounting, you personally went through, as well as what you went through with your mom, cut very much from the same cloth as the history we had with our mom. After our dad passed away, the last 5 years of her life, which were the last 5 years after that, were just a downhill spiral of health problems for our mom. Everything from diabetes to neuropathy, which actually involved a surgery that we had to drive halfway across the state to get to a hospital that would actually cover her, because she didn't have insurance and stuff like that. And, she had chronic bronchitis. I know your mom, you said she had respiratory issues, and our mom had that thoroughly as well. And it just got to the point where she was in and out of the hospital, much as you said with your mom, time and time again, and the doctors would be very dismissive. They would be, oh, look who's back, and not in a friendly way, not in a genial way, with the exception through the history of the times we've been in and out of medical, facilities and stuff like that, whether it be for our mom, my sister, myself. On occasion we would meet an orderly or a nurse who was seemingly actually compassionate, but it's always the people who can't do anything or can't affect a big-time change, that kind of thing. The doctors, the nurses, they just... I know there's, I read a long time ago that doctors and stuff like that, they try to be professionally distanced. But a lot of the time that just turns them into a grieved asshole. They walk in and they don't care. They don't look up from the clipboard. They don't engage, and it's usually the lower people on the totem pole in those environments that do, because they can relate to a degree, whether they themselves or they have family or they are just human, which is more than I can say for these doctors and such. And the last time our mom was in the hospital, we had to go way out of town to an entirely other county because, lest we forget, it's been almost 20 years since the second to last time our mom was in the hospital, and she was basically kicked out from the very same hospital that this happened with my sister today. On the one hand, I want to kick my own ass for not learning the lesson, shouldn't go back there. But after 20 years, you think, well, hands must have changed. They must be actually treating people better by now, right? And no, apparently not. And the last time our mom was in the hospital, the out-of-county hospital situation, she still didn't have insurance. And they really could care less about what was happening. The shit they were prescribing her clashed. She had hallucinogenic effects, side effects, fell out of bed, broke her hip, had a stroke. When they tried to repair it, they couldn't complete the repair. At that point, she had lost speech function, but she still knew who she was and everything like that. And we were basically going down there every other day because it was so far and we couldn't afford the gas, but we were going down there as often as we could. And one day, after, I think it was a 2-day stretch that we hadn't been down there, we go down, she's not in the room she's normally in, and we're, about to go back to the nurse's station to find out what's going on, and I hear this moaning, this groaning from a room on the other side of the hall, down toward the end. I go to investigate, and there's our mom, and it turned out, even though we had warned them that, it was the medicine affecting her that led to her stroke, falling out of bed and everything. They were supposed to have somebody watching, just to make sure that she didn't crawl out of bed at night. She did, again, and had a second stroke, which vegetated her. And they kind of twisted our arm along the lines of, there's not much we can do. maybe you want to do a DNR, a do not resuscitate. And we didn't really know at that point. I mean, we were just kind of like, she's gone anyway. And that's kind of what we did because we didn't know what else to do. From the moment we were kind of conned into signing it and flabbergasted, I mean, they hit us when, all this stuff was being revealed to us, so we had no choice but to be befuddled. When they hit us with this, that kind of absolved them from any responsibility to a degree, and we were told by an attorney we called after the fact, once she had finally passed away, that, by signing that, you kind of alleviated them from responsibility. And it's like, you want to become a terrorist overnight. You want to blow the hell out of that hospital and hope all of those people are in there, and the sick irony, after everything was said and done, when our mom finally did pass away, we got a call to come down. They basically said they didn't think she had much longer to go. They had her on a respirator, and because of that DNR, that do not resuscitate, we got down there a couple hours later with our mom's fiance at the time, who we kind of referred to as a stepdad, but we've become estranged over the last, almost 10 years now, after we had a falling out, whole other story. But we went down there, and, once she had passed away, like literally the day after or a couple days after, she finally got approved for the insurance that they were trying to chase her out of the hospital, but her predicament just kept getting so much worse that they had no choice but to keep her. They would have been rid of her time and time again. I mean, basically that last time she was in the hospital, I was doing 90 miles an hour because we had to get to the other county, as I said, and her lungs were filling with fluid and stuff like that, and we just barely got there in time because no ambulance from where we were living would have taken her down there, and even if they had, we couldn't have afforded it. So I was doing 90. Luckily, there was no traffic. Only twice did I have to slow down because, a traffic light on one occasion, and another occasion there was a cop at another light through the cross section, and I got down there, what would at average speed during average traffic be like an hour and a half. I got down there in 15 minutes, I think, or maybe a half hour, and we just got her to the hospital in time, but, basically they finally had approved her insurance after the fact, and it was like a cruel irony because if that had been in effect, so much probably would have been different. They probably would have actually been able to do more for her. A lot of what made things go so horribly wrong was that they didn't want to monitor her, or they didn't want to keep an eye on what she could have, or, she needed to have the cheapest possible version of the medication rather than the best possible because she couldn't afford it. And these were the things that were tripping her up and fucking her up and led to it. And, it's horrible that is the way things are so frequently in so many places, and that's just sadly the way it is, as sad as it is. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you, Joe. I'm sure we could talk for hours and find so many of our circumstances are very similar, kindred circumstances as they were, or as it were. And, for anyone watching this video, the great people who have been commenting on all of these vlog updates with positivity and well wishes, people, my friends on, FB and stuff, because I'll likely be posting this there, who have just written time and time again, every time we hit like a speed bump like this with well wishes and high hopes and stuff like that, you can't know how much that means to me. Joe, your video in and of itself, just knowing there are people out there that get it and are concerned and do care does wonders. And I hope our videos, that is to say, my previous ones, if you've seen them, if you've seen the last one that kind of spurred this conversation, I'll be linking Joe's in the description below. I hope for those of you who haven't experienced firsthand this kind of just severely broken, healthcare unprofessionalism in America and stuff like that, I hope this will serve as a cautionary tale, and this will give you a heads up of what you're getting yourself into. God forbid you don't have insurance, or God forbid, a friend, a family member, whatever it is, a significant other, finds themselves in this kind of predicament. And if you have personally gone through this kind of thing, just know you're not alone in it. I mean, it's not a very large comfort, it's a very small comfort, but know that so many of us are going through this kind of bullshit, and it's aggravating, it's frustrating, it's, heartbreaking. And I can only hope that, with each step forward, with each passing minute, that all of us will find ourselves in better times, and all of us will find ourselves in better health and happier circumstances. And, that's kind of one of the bottom lines with whenever I upload videos and stuff like that. I hope that it's reaching somebody. I hope posts I make on Facebook is reaching somebody, and maybe I can make somebody smile, or I can make somebody think, or I can let somebody know that there are others of us out there who know what it's like, and you're not alone in it. I appreciate that very much as well from you, Joe. And so, yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for me on this video, which has lasted God knows how long. I can't see the actual timer, but probably going to have to edit it, a little bit with the audio. And otherwise, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.